but I'm going to go through it ridiculously fast because I never imagined that me giving a quick demo of some of my hobbies and interests on video games would be this freaking long. So I'll give you the super quick sample of what's going on, but you're free to go to Puzzele.com and check it out. I don't know if you could see all this, but I'm going to go through it real quick. This over here, this is my original van, my Cloud Dancer van. That's the van I bought when I was in high school, believe it or not. And there it is, and it's a whole long story. Loved that van, but I ended up selling it. When I went to law school, it kind of rusted out because I didn't drive it. And by the time I got out of law school and I would drive it to the courthouse, people would ask me who my attorney was, and I would say, no, I am the attorney. But when they see me drive around this old 70s van all rusted out with side pipes and stained glass taillights, they thought I was the defendant. So I eventually sold it, but just recently, took me a whole freaking production, but I ended up tracking it down, and I'm in the process of bringing the van back to life, and I'll show you that in a little bit. Conquering College, Getting A's for Doing Zilch. That was a book I had written in college, actually, just to show you real quick. It's about getting good grades and avoiding the work. The funny part is, here's a picture of me on the radio. This was me cutting class in law school to go promote a book about how to avoid work in college. So that was kind of funny. Some lawyer stuff. She Dumped Me. That's a website I had started years ago when the internet was in its infancy. What happened was, as I'm sure you know by now, I was dating a girl. Say it with me. I was dating a girl, and she dumped me. Turns out the girl to this day is still one of my very best friends. We kept in touch over the years. But she changed her mind. She decided she wanted to have kids, which will bring me to the next phase. But when she dumped me, I said, how do I meet women? I don't drink, I don't smoke, I've never tried drugs. What the hell do I do? Can't go to a bar, can't go to a club. It's not my genre, it's not my forte. I'm not into it. So I came up with an idea. I'm going to use the internet and create a website to try and meet people. Well, when the internet was in its infancy, people thought I was literally out of my mind. They thought I was a lunatic. They thought I was depressed. They thought I was desperate. It was unheard of to use the internet to try and get a date. I thought it was a great way to do it. Personally, why not? You can kind of communicate back and forth, find out a little bit of information about them, unlike at a bar where you just go to a complete stranger. So you can check out that website, and I know this is going to sound terribly conceited, but nobody's more amazed than me. The She Dumped Me website turned into a huge media frenzy because it was so unheard of that newspapers and radio stations and everybody talked about it. It was in multiple countries. I ended up meeting hundreds of women for coffee. And to this day, some of those women are some of my closest friends. And I met everybody. I met a 36-inch dwarf. I met Kung Fu fighters. I met physicists. I met people with triple PhDs. I had an absolute blast. I mean, I would literally meet somebody for coffee every day of the week. On weekends, I would meet several different women for coffee. Had an absolute blast making friends. Some of these people are not only friends, but now to me, they're family. So it really was phenomenal and goes to show you the power of the internet. What else we got here? We have more video games I made. Here's Worldwide Media Attention. This gives you an idea of some of the newspaper articles and stuff from the She Dumped Me site. Can't even read half of them. They're not even in English. Radio stations. This is, I don't know. I don't want to offend anybody. I don't know if this is Chinese or Japanese, but it's not English. And I could see my website, She Dumped Me, the link. I think that's Italian. All different countries were talking about the website and me trying to get a date, which, ironically enough, I'm still doing these days. That's about my mom, who's my hero. More animations and stuff that I've done. This is the IDonotWantKids.com website. This is what you see with the t-shirt and stuff. What happened was, after I met all these people for coffee, eventually I got it through my thick skull that almost every person on the planet wants to have kids. Well, I prefer not to. And it's a very, very sensitive subject. I never imagined it would be taboo to talk about it, but apparently it is. So I ended up creating a website. It's free. I don't make a dime off of it. And it's only for people that don't have kids and don't want kids. And when I say it's taboo, I'll give you an example. I'm banned from speed dating. I'm banned from certain dating sites because I say I don't want kids. I was at speed dating events, and I would ask them, I said, listen, we only have 3 or 4 minutes to talk. I just want to let you know I don't have kids and I don't want to have kids. Do you want kids? Do you have kids? And I got in trouble. Apparently you're not supposed to ask this horribly sensitive question. So instead these people would ask me ridiculously stupid questions. Not that I'm not so bright myself, which clearly I'm not based on what you've seen thus far, but they'd ask you dumb questions. You got 3 or 4 minutes at a speed dating event, right? One of the questions I would be asked is, who's your favorite cartoon character and why? Like, who cares? This is what you're basing the relationship on, who my cartoon character is. So I, of course, come up with answers. Me being me, I remember the answer I said was, I would pick Wonder Woman. And they said, oh, why Wonder Woman? And I said, well, she has great boobs, she has a whip and handcuffs. And needless to say, I never heard from that girl again. So if you ever find anybody that doesn't have kids and doesn't want kids, by all means, give them that website. I do not want kids.com. I don't make a dime off of it. This site is growing very slowly because there's very few people that feel the same way. And the few people that do feel the same way, I now find out that they're very reluctant to say it out loud because of societal norms. I don't understand it. But I'm telling you, I don't have kids. I don't want kids. But I'd love to find a woman that feels the same way. What else we have here? These are more animations. This is me on TV in France. Here's a Do Not Date Me website. This was a website I created telling all the women why they shouldn't date me. And I'll go back to that. Yeah, I'll go back to that because there's a little video I'll show you on that. These are other animations. This was the Wendy Williams show. I was on that TV show. Needless to say, I was trying to get a date. Didn't work. This was me on the Rachel Ray TV show. Here's a story for that. I was dating a girl, and she was not happy with me. She got into a major argument with me because she was insisting that I spend about $10,000 to redo my kitchen. And I explained to her, I said, listen, I have a full-size coffin in my house, as you saw. I have a 6-foot monk in my house, as you saw. Why am I going to spend $10,000 to redo a perfectly good kitchen? And by the way, you didn't see the kitchen, I don't think, but it's got like a nautical theme. So why am I going to spend $10,000? Well, we got into a battle. Long story short, she dumped me. Turns out she was a huge fan of the Rachel Ray TV show, and it turns out that Rachel Ray was having a TV show about couples that disagreed on decorating. So the girl got back in touch with me, and she says, hey, would you mind? Maybe we can get back together. Maybe we can do the TV show together. I said, why not? I don't care. I'm single. I'm not doing anything. So we go on the TV show, and of course everybody was breaking my chops about the horrendous decorating, although I like it. I think it's wonderful to have different themes. I call it Puzzele's Fun House because a house should be fun. So we went on the TV show, dated again, and you already know how the story ends. She ended up dumping me again. But again, she to this day is one of my closest friends. She got back in touch. We patched it up as a friendship, and to me she's practically family. So again, go figure. What else we have here? There's more articles about me, animations I did on Washington, D.C., animations here, video games there. Oh, this is an updated... I forgot, that scared me. This is the updated website on the van Cloud Dancer. Now, I'm just going to scan along just to show you how the van's coming along. This is another hobby of mine. I'm not only in front of the computer or the video games. During nice weather in New Jersey, I'm outside usually working on my 70s van. So this is what the van looks like now. I bought all stained glass on the ceiling. There's rhinestones everywhere. Let's see if there's a better picture here. Blah, blah, blah. This is the interior that I've redone. I don't know if you can tell. There's rhinestones everywhere. That's the interior again, and on and on and on. So again, Cloud Dancer is the name of the van. That's another one of my hobbies. I love going to the van shows. The Vanners are just an unbelievable group of people. Talk about a tremendous family, a tremendous personality. If you ever get to go to a van show, I highly recommend you go. It's a little strange because you can't get into the van show unless you have a van. But if you ever have the opportunity, I highly recommend you go because those guys have incredible skill and imagination. It is remarkable. What else we got? More video games, some more goofy animations I made. Here's a few more video games. Some of these are on the Amazon store that you saw. Here's Flappy Puzzele. You didn't see this one. This is me, obviously, and I'm acting as Superman. And the idea is similar to Flappy Bird. The idea is you have to fly and avoid, not shockingly, the wedding cakes. I know, but you're thinking, God, why is he single? Well, there you go. So you can check that out. Here's another game I made. This is called 8 Questions. I thought this was a brilliant idea, and everybody hates it. What this is a little video game, and it's real simple. All you have to do is answer 8 simple questions. And I have yet to find a woman that can answer the 8 simple questions correctly. But once I do, I know I got my match. So I don't know if you could read it, but I'll read it to you real quick. It says, this is Puzzele. Puzzele is looking to fall in love and live happily ever after. Puzzele realizes he isn't for the majority of women. Candidly, he doesn't care. Puzzele created this game as a goofy, unorthodox approach to try and get a date. The goal is to answer the questions honestly and see if Puzzele is sunk. Click to begin. So let's go through just one question. I'll show you how tricky these questions are. Question number 1 of 8. I'm sure you can figure out what the question's going to be. Do you want kids? Ever? Yes or no? Well, if somebody said yes, they want kids, boom, I'm sunk. Obviously, if they gave me the answer I'm looking for, they would go to the next question. I know it's corny, but to me it works. All right, what else we have here? These are more animations that I made, more video games that I made. Some of those you saw in the Amazon store. Some of those you can just play on the PC for free, and on and on and on and on. But I'll go back here real quick. You remember that site I mentioned, Do Not Date Me? This basically explains all the reasons why you shouldn't date me. I said, if you ever want kids, don't date me. If you think a coupon is kryptonite, don't date me. If you require the first date to be dinner instead of an informal cup of coffee, do not date me. If you can only eat at restaurants that have reservations, do not date me. And on and on and on. Real simple. But for those that are illiterate, I even made an animation. And I call this animation Puzzele's Dating Etiquette Abolition. Now the reason why I'm going to show you this goofy animation is because what I do is, the rare times that I can actually get a date these days, which doesn't happen too often anymore, because like I said, once I say I don't want kids, it's over. But every blue moon I might find somebody that says, yeah, let's go out for coffee. Well, what I do now is, just to save time, is I ask them to watch my 2-minute animation before we go out. And I can tell you candidly that 98% of the time after women see this animation that I made, they cancel. I never hear from them again. And I have a lot of family and friends saying, Puzzele, what the hell are you doing? Are you nuts? You're scaring everybody away. But I don't view it that way. To me, I think I'm just saving a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of aggravation. Because why bother meeting if we're not compatible? So I'm going to show you now this horrific video that scares away, that terrifies, that repulses, that disgusts 98% of the women. All right? And again, to me, this is a video game. This is fun. This is creativity. This is animation. This is computers. This is, to me, one big video game that I made. So here we go. And then after this animation, we'll go back to some more video games. But as you can see, I'm just moving things along real quick because I think I've spent hours and hours, and I'm going to be cutting out most of this stuff anyway. So here's the horrific video I made, and I'll see you in a little bit.
Dating etiquette abolition. Countless women say that men should never use coupons on a date because it's supposedly not romantic. The majority of women acknowledge, however, that coupons can be used after marriage. But why does a person have to get married just to save 50% on dinner? So in other words, I potentially can have sex with you and get married to you before I can use a coupon? Excuse me, but that ring is too small. You have to spend at least $15,000 or preferably 6 months of your salary. You know, intellectually speaking, you really need to get over this whole ring thing. It's turning into a competition and eradicating the romance. What did you say? And yes, it's true, guys whine if we don't get a big screen television, but we don't base the quality of the relationship on how much money was spent on the TV. How dare you, you hairy, vertically challenged, frugal, coupon-using computer geek! Does this mean we're not gonna have sex? Get back here so I can convert you to see things like a woman! Oh my god, I'm a cartoon! And she dictates my genitalia! And now I want to go on vacation to Paris, and you have to pay for it, otherwise I'm not going! So let me get this straight. I have to pay you to spend time with me on vacation. God, call me crazy, but that sounds more like a business transaction than somebody that wants to spend time with me. Well, then you have to pay for all my dinners because I'm old-fashioned and want to be treated like a lady. That doesn't necessarily mean I have to pay for everything. Again, if you will only be with me if I pay you, that doesn't really sound ladylike. Why not just treat each other equally? Why would you want to be treated like chattel? You are so selfish! I'm not really sure how a guy that believes in being equal constitutes being selfish. All I'm suggesting is treating my future wife like my soulmate, my equal. You dated drug abusers, gamblers, liars, and cheaters, but I'm evidently the antichrist of dating because I want you to pick up the tab sometimes.
Will you guys grow up and stop being babies already? You should just live life with passion and enjoy your time together.
Now that you mention babies, I don't want any babies. I even created the world's only child-free dating site. I do not want kids.com. What? You don't want to make babies? My biological clock is going tick-tock, and you don't want to make babies? I'm out of here!
It's time to go for a little spin, non-breeder!
So there you have it, folks. My quest to find that special female that is attracted to a vertically challenged, frugal, hairy guy that uses coupons and doesn't ever want to have kids and actually believes the female should pick up the tab sometimes, shockingly enough, continues since I'm still single. And if you do want to find out more information about me, even just to goof on me, feel free to visit any of my websites, such as Puzzele.com, SheDumkedMe.net, and the world's only child-free dating site, I Do Not Want Kids.com.